What up, Chitsuru here. Now, with August, pretty much over, lots of really cool films I got to see in the month of August. So, here is my August 2024 film ranking. Alright, of course, this is from from worst to good. Alright. Number 28 is the worst film I saw in the month of August, and that is The Crow. Now, this I knew it was gonna be terrible from the moment of the trailer and stuff like that. I mean, the trailer looked okay, just definitely looked like very cheap and stuff like that. But yeah, you kind of expect, especially with like the trouble production this had, and top off, it was directed by Rupert Sanders, whose other credits was Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell. So that doesn't give you much credit. So yeah, the Crow remake, it's a shame too because you got some cool cast members like Bill Skarsgård, Denton Houston, FK Twigs. You got some really cool cast members in this. But even they was enough to save this film. It's just the dialogue, the script, and all is terrible. I mean, yeah, I would not recommend The Crow at all. And not a good month for Lionsgate, by the way, because 27, I'm going with another Lionsgate film of the month, and that is Borderlands, or I should say, or just regular Borderlands, because it was a board fest. It was just so bad, man. I mean, I actually wanted to like this one too because you had Eli Roth, who I enjoy. I like the cast list, from like Kevin Hart to Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black. You got some really cool cast members in this, but even their talent was so wasted in this. It's just nothing about it was all that interesting. It was so blatantly terrible. The dialogue, script, I mean, Claptrap, one of the most worst characters of the year. It's just a really abysmal one. All right, coming in at number 26 is a film that not many people probably heard of, but I decided to give it a go anyway. It's a film called Crescent City, another Lionsgate film, by the way. This is, of course, a film that stars the likes of Terrence Howard, which, by the way, Fight Night premieres this week. Cannot wait to see that. You also have like Alec Baldwin, Nikki Whelan. You have some really cool cast members in this, but of course, it really was just like a blended ripoff of something like Seven, or those murder mystery films from you remember from the '90s and stuff. It's so boring, so terrible. The performances by Terrence Howard and Alec Baldwin wasn't all that good. I mean, it really just. I mean, if you guys want to just sit back and watch you know have a couple of beverages and just check this out and have some laughs, it's definitely unintentionally funny, but it's just a really abysmal one. All right, number 25. I'm going with Saving Bikini Bottom, the Standing Cheeks movie. Of course, the SpongeBob spin-off film, if you will. Despite this, despite this movie being terrible, I'm still interested in that Plankton film on Netflix. But this here, I just hope it's better than the Standing Cheeks movie because, my God, this was abysmal. Probably the worst SpongeBob film to ever come out. It's just so terrible. Nothing about it was all that interesting. You know, it was really dumb at times. I mean, yeah, it's a shame too because Sanchez was always a really interesting character, but yeah, I guess the show's just because just because a character is a scene still doesn't mean they should get a spin off, and I guess this one really proves that. All right, number 24, I'm going with Harold and the Purple Crayon. Now, this isn't as bad as, let's say, Borderlands or The Crow was, but it was still not a good one. I mean, for one, like Zachary Levi really, I mean, for one, this really felt like a ripoff of Elf in a weird way. Like, I did got a little bit of an Elf vibe here, where, of course, Zachary Levi is, going into the real world to find his father. And I'm not saying that because, like, Zoe Deschanel was in this, and she was also an elf, but definitely has some elf comparisons here. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Zachary Levi Sally hasn't outside of Shazam, he hasn't really had the best lead roles lately. So it's a shame too. But yeah, Hair on the Purple Crayon definitely is not it. All right, number 23. I'm going with The Unit. Now, of course, this is the action comedy with Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry. It's not as bad as most Netflix films, but it's still not so great. I mean, the humor was not that decent. The chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry was okay, but that was really it. Uh, you know, the script was not so great. Definitely had like uh definitely was very unforgettable. I mean, yeah, it's a shame too because I like both Wahlberg and Berry, but this one definitely was that. All right, number 22. I of course got The Killer. Now, while this is better than the last John Woo movie, which was Silent Night, it still wasn't all that good. I mean, the best part is pretty much the action, but like the story elements wasn't all that great. It was pretty boring at times. Um, some of the acting by like the likes of Sam Worthington wasn't all that great either. So it's a shame too. I feel like John Woo's career lately is going down a little bit, which is a shame too because he is a guy who gave us Face Off, Boiler Room, and stuff like that. But I guess they can't they can't all have winners. I guess. All right, number 21. I'm going with The Mousetrap. Now this is of course the other Mickey Mouse horror film that got released, not to be confused with Screamboat. I'm hoping that Screamboat is far better than this because I actually don't mind seeing like these childhood characters getting turned into horrors. What I mean, I'm one of the rare folks who did not mind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2, but this one, yeah, it just was a little disappointing. I mean, it's not as bad as most people probably make it out to be, but yeah, it just wasn't all that scary at all. The guy in the Mickey Mouse costume, like I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind having that for a Halloween costume, but yeah, it didn't really do much for me. So yeah, this just and I'll do like good B level horror films, but this definitely wasn't it. All right, number 20. I'm going with a film called Hellho. Now this premiered on Shutter, and it's actually not that bad of a little horror film. Of course, this definitely has a little bit of like a vibe of The Thing. Now top 22 up is actually films that I quite go with. Okay, all right. Now if you guys don't know much about Hellho, it's on Shutter. If you guys haven't seen it. An American-led tracking crew working deep in the suburban wilderness uncover the unimaginable a dormant parasitic monster. And this definitely had like a vibe of stuff like The Thing or mostly The Thing really, or other like body-based horror film like David Cronenberg films, stuff like that. And it's actually not a bad little horror film. Definitely got more gore than you expected, like probably even more gore than The Thing really. Uh, the cast of characters was interesting. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Shutter. Give it a go. All right, number 19. I'm going with The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, which is on Hulu and Disney Plus. Really nice little charming film. Uzo Aduba was pretty good. Anjanae Ellis Taylor was decent. The chemistry between the cast, like Sanaa Lathan, was really good. This is of course a film about womanhood, about friendships, and really well worth watching. All right, number 18, I'm going with Elizabeth Taylor, Lost Tapes. Now, this is, of course, a documentary about Hollywood icon Elizabeth Taylor, and this actually has like tapes of her, telling her own story in her own words, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's actually a really decent documentary, showcase on the life of this Hollywood legend. You also get to see like some of her, the iconic work she's done. I mean, you know, Elizabeth Taylor obviously is one of the most iconic actresses of all time. From Cleopatra, to the Flintstones. I mean, she definitely, been some really iconic stuff, and this really showcases her, from her acting to her relationships and some really decent, showcase stuff here. All right, number 17, I'm going with Watchmen Chapter 1. Now, of course, I got to watch this online. not a bad follow, like not bad like Watchmen film. Not as good as like the Zack Snyder one, but of course this is like a really cool DC animated. Probably one of the better ones I've seen in recent years. Pretty violent as usual. Of course, seeing Doctor Manhattan and all in this. It's just like after seeing this, I wouldn't mind seeing like a new Watchmen project. But after like HBO's cancellation, who knows if we're ever gonna get more Watchmen live actions in the future? But that's what I say. All right. Number 16, I'm going with One Fast Move. Now, of course, this is the film with KJ Apa from Riverdale fame and Maya Rafuko from Pretty Little Liars Summer School fame. Now, this isn't like a great film or anything, but it actually definitely had some cool stuff going for it. You know, KJ Apa, I thought he was pretty decent. Had some really cool charm to it. You know, it is parts like racing film, part romance film. You also had Edward James Olmos was in this. Eric Dane. Really decent little film worth checking out. All right, number 15, I'm going with The Instigators. Now, The Instigators, of course, was directed by Doug Liman, starring the likes of Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, and follows two robbers who must go on the run with the help of one of their therapists after a thief doesn't go as planned. And of course, you had Paul Walter Hauser was in this, Ron Perlman. It was actually a lot of fun to check out. You know, great chemistry between both Damon and Affleck. And it's always cool seeing Matt Damon working with an Affleck. If it's not Ben Affleck, it's his brother. So there's that. Now this is not as good as let's say Doug Liman's Roadhouse remake. I probably prefer his Roadhouse film over this, to be honest with you. But it definitely was a cool heist film worth checking out. Definitely has like that bit of an Ocean's feel to it. Really decent film if you guys haven't seen it. It's on Apple, by the way. So, all right, number 14, I'm going with Greedy People. Now I got to watch this, online like this past month, and you've got the likes of not Lily Collins, Lily James, not Lily James. Of course, you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Amish Patel. Greedy People definitely has a little bit of like a Fargo, Coen Brothers vibe. Definitely getting a little bit like got Coen Brothers vibe out from this. Of course, you got residents of a small island town navigate a murder and the discovery of $1 million and a series of increasingly bad decisions upon the once peaceful community. And the chemistry between like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Ramesh Patel, who you might know from that movie Yesterday, which Ana de Armas is not in. Greedy People definitely has some really fun comedic aspects to it, and their chemistry was pretty solid. So if you guys haven't seen Greedy People, definitely give it a go. All right, number 13, I'm going with Jackpot. Now, the reviews for this hasn't really been the best, but I don't care. Jackpot was a lot of fun. You know, the chemistry between John Cena and Aquafina was pretty cool. The premise was pretty decent. Definitely had some fun. Laughs to it. Paul Feig, I thought, did a great job with this one. I mean, if you guys have not seen Jackpot, where of course Aquafina plays like this woman who ends up winning like $1 million jackpot lotto, and people have to try to people have to try to like get at her and take her out, and if they take her out, um, they actually get her mills, which is a really cool premise into itself. I mean, it is a really decent, fun little action film worth checking out. Simu Liu was great. Seeing Sean William Scott pop up was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I had a fun time with Jackpot, so definitely give that one a go. All right, number 12, I'm going with Raw Pace. Now, Raw Pace, I thought was a really nice little film. Which is of course about the murder of this college student, and it's really sad to say the least. Shuta Ejiofor actually directed this film. He did a really great job. The one who plays like the one who plays Raw Pace, I thought was pretty solid. Camila Cabello was pretty good. Mary J. Blige. It, you're definitely gonna it's a little gonna be a little sad towards the end too. And it's like she was Ejiofor who directed The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I thought he did a really good job. Um, directing. I can't wait to see what else he does like as a director in the future. All right, coming in at number 11, I'm going with Lee Daniels' The Deliverance. Now, of course, this is about an Indiana family who discovers a strange demonic occurrences that convince them and their community that their house is a portal to hell here. And The Deliverance was a really creepy little horror film. You can actually find it on Netflix. Andre Day was pretty solid in this. Of course, you had Monique was pretty good. Seeing Lee Daniels do his first ever horror film, I thought was really intriguing. Really decent little horror film worth checking out here. Aja Day, she's actually a really good singer, but she's becoming a really solid actress in her own right. Of course, from playing Billie Holiday. Of course, she was in that movie Marshall. Now, this I hope to see her pretty much act again in the future because she really was solid in this one. All right, now here is my official top 10 favorite films I saw in August. Number 10 is the Gary Coleman documentary Gary. I think this was a really decent documentary. Really showcased on who Gary Coleman was, uh, his life, what happened to him. Sadly, he passed away at a very young age. I thought it was a really decent doc worth checking out, and Peacock really has been killing it with these documentaries, and this one is definitely one of them. All right, number 9, I'm going with Incoming. Now, Incoming, of course, is the R-rated teen comedy starring Mason Thames, uh, and of course, it had Bobby Cannavale, Kate Nelson. The reviews for this hasn't been the best, but I don't care what the reviews say. This movie is hilarious. It definitely brings you back to like the American Pie era. Like this feels like American Pie for the Gen Xers, I should say. Uh, I really had a fun time with this one. The car scene, maybe one of the funniest scenes I've seen. I've seen at home. I should say, not because Deadpool and Wolverine definitely has some of the funniest scenes, but that aside, Incoming definitely has some really funny moments, especially the car scene, which yeah, if you're planning to eat while you watch this, maybe try to fish before that car scene comes on. But because I'm not gonna spoil it, but there is like a really gross out scene, towards the end, which yeah, you're definitely probably gonna lose your appetite if you watch, but it's still really hilarious one. All right, number 8, I'm going with Cuckoo. Now, this of course is a horror film with Hunter Schafer, who plays a teenager who moves to German Alps to live with her father, played by Martin Costas. Buck becomes disturbed by strange occurrences. And of course, you have Dad Stevens, who plays her father's boss, who enrolls her family in the sinister plot. Great year for Dad Stevens, by the way, between Godzilla and Kong. Of course, Abigail. I mean, he's having one heck of a year in the genre fair. And I thought he was really solid in this one. Hunter Schafer was pretty great. Creepy, twists and turns around. If you guys haven't seen Cuckoo, definitely give it a go. All right, number 7. I am of course going with Adam Sandler. Love You, which is of course his comedy special, and it's a really solid one. I mean, especially watch the end because Adam Sandler does this like really cool like song where he pays tribute to iconic comedies from like the Three Stooges to the Marx Brothers and all. It's a really solid one worth checking out, and it's of course directed by Josh Safdie, who worked with Adam Sandler on Uncut Gems. It's a really, I mean, after seeing this, I really hope we like Josh Safdie makes his like a Netflix film he was gonna do with Sandler, which is of course like a baseball film. I hope he hurries up with that down the line. But yeah, this is a really solid one. I mean, this still don't know if it's as good as his last one, which was the 100% fresh one. But it's a really solid one here. Like you gotta always give it your Adam Sandler. Like even if you're not a fan of his films or anything like that, you always gotta be a fan of the guy. Just he always seems like a really cool, down to earth, regular person. Some of the music he also puts out in this is really good. All right, number 6, I'm going with D-Day. Now, technically, this was a July release, but I didn't really see it until the following, so I'm adding my August list. But D-Day was a really decent little coming of age tale, with Isaac Wang was pretty good in this. Joan Chen, who I think should get an Oscar nomination, at playing his mother, like she was excellent in this one. Sean Wang, who directed it, was pretty good. This of course does take you back to 2008, and really cool. Cool time to be a kid back in 2008. So yeah. All right, number five, I'm going with It Ends with Us. Now, despite like the controversy surrounding it and stuff like that, I still thought It Ends with Us was a really nice little. I mean, who knows if we're ever gonna get a sequel to it? But Blake Lively, I thought was pretty good. Justin Baldoni, who I know he's having a little controversy, and like there's some sort of major controversy between him and Blake Lively, which I don't want to get into. But just look up Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, controversy. You'll get it. But it's a really decent, heartfelt film worth checking out. The one who plays like the other love interest, Brendan Scaneller, I think his name is. I don't know. He was pretty solid. It's a really decent film worth checking out. All right. Number four is Strange Stallings. Now, I'll probably recommend don't even watch the trailer while you watch it. Like go in blind, and it's a really solid one. Will Fitzgerald from the Scream TV show was pretty good. Of course, Kyle Gallner from who was just in the recent Scream was solid. It's a really decent cat and mouse game. Um, Will Fitzgerald was so excellent in this movie. I hope to see her in more horror films in the future because she was really solid. Ed Begley Jr. was great in this. Barbara Hershey. Some crazy twists and turns around. I mean, definitely. If you guys haven't seen Strange Stallings, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's in theaters. Highly recommend giving it a go. All right, number three, I'm going with Trap. Of course, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, starring Josh Hartnett. This movie did not really get much love, but I actually enjoyed it more than most people did. It's a really fun one. Not really hardly any twists like most, and I think the twist is that it does not have a twist. I think that's the twist there. But because when you go into an M Night Shyamalan film, you always automatically assume it's going to have a twist. Whether it's like the twist from The Sixth Sense. I mean, the last Airbender had a twist. The twist is that was terrible. But yeah, and I'm just saying this. I hope M Night Shyamalan goes back to Trap and maybe like do some sort of spin-off series, like film or something in the like, because I really want to see what this guy was before he became the killer. Like, I hope M Night Shyamalan really does some sort of spin-off or whatever. Because I thought it was a really solid one, and I wouldn't mind seeing like more films or series set in this world. So. All right, number two, I'm going with Blink Twice. The directorial debut by Zoe Kravitz, starring Channing Tatum. It's a lot of fun. Some really cool kills to it. It was really entertaining to watch. Zoe Kravitz. I hope to see her direct another film in the future because she really has some cool directing talents here. Channing Tatum, Haley Joel Osment, Simon Rex, some really cool cast members. It's also original for people who says Hollywood don't make original content anymore. This is an original film, so yeah, definitely go give Blink Twice a go. And my number one favorite film of August is no surprise, it's Alien Romulus. I had a fun time with this. Alien Romulus is really terrific. It's really entertaining. Of course, love this trope, the callback to the past Alien films. It's a really decent one, worth giving a go. I hope we get more aliens down the line, whether it's maybe another Alien vs Predator, another just regular sequel to Alien Romulus. I mean, Sigourney Weaver actually said recently that she'd love to come back to Ripley. It would be cool if somehow they were able to get Sigourney Weaver back as Ripley for another Alien. That I don't know if that was ever going to happen, but that would be a dream come true right there. But that's pretty much it here. Here is, of course, my quick rundown. 28 The Crow, 27 Borderlands, 26 Crescent City, 25 Saving Bikini Bottom, 24 Hero in the Purple Crayon, 23 The Unit, 22 The Killer, 21 The Mousetrap, 20 Hellho, 19 The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, 18 Elizabeth Taylor Lost Tapes, 17 Watchmen Chapter 1, 16 One Fast Move, 15 The Instigators, 14 Greedy People, 13 Jackpot, 12 Rod Pace, 11, Deliverance. The Deliverance. Deliverance is a totally different film. 10, Gary. 9, Incoming. 8, Kaku. 7, Adam Sandler Love You. 6, Didi. 5, It Enter Us. 4, Strange Darling. 3, Trap. 2, Blink Twice. And number 1, Alien Romulus. Now, there's other ones I did not really get a chance. Like, I was actually going to be interested in seeing the movie Afraid, but it wasn't really playing by me. So I'm probably not really going to watch anytime soon. But maybe if I get a chance to watch it in September, I'll add it to my September list. But anyway, let me let you guys. How would you rank the films that you saw in the month of August? Drop count like from best to worst or worst to best. Either way, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Henry signing.